The next sad topic. Cain Velasquez.
Hashtag free Cain.
Hashtag.
And actually, I think it did trend
Cain.
on Twitter.
It did trend on Twitter. I was a member of that.
I think I changed. I don't know if you saw it in my profile. My Twitter profile hasn't been updated in years. I think since we started the podcast.
Hashtag free Cain.
I added hashtag free Cain in my Twitter profile.
Cain Velasquez, who in 2022 or early 2022 chased down a man who was convicted of sexually assaulting his son reportedly upwards of 100 times. This man, Harry Galarte Jr., yes, I'm saying the name because people should know in the California area who this man is.
I didn't expect you to name drop it, but I knew you knew the name.
Of course I know the name. Harry Galarte Jr. Yeah, so be on the lookout, okay? So this man who, like I just said, convicted, currently set to go, still hasn't gone to trial, by the way. Funny, right? Somehow they could rush Cain in there, but nonetheless, still waiting to see what if any sort of punishment will be happening to this guy. So far, none. After getting arrested and being convicted, he was let loose on house arrest. I think just like a day after he was arrested. Cain Velasquez chased him down in his car, fired several shots at the car in traffic, which obviously you should never do vigilante violence. But, you know, he ended up being arrested. And Cain, who has been the model citizen, not only in the cage, out of the cage, known as a family man, known as a coach, does stuff with the youth, like wrestling camps and shit. And all, like, viewed, honestly, during his UFC run, he was almost like a gentle giant. The guy never had really any real beef with anybody, you know?
Good dad, too, man. That video of him on that little toy, like the little quarter horse, eating ice cream.
Yeah, that's some good dad shit, you know? And he did that, and he should not have done that, but he spent a year in a jail cell with a judge who said that he was a danger to the public, and that just any time the subject of bail would come up, not even a conversation, like, hey, you're I believe a danger to society is what this original judge said, just this disgusting human being. And eventually he got a new judge. That new judge gave him bail. He had been on house arrest for 2 years. Finally went to trial. He had reached a plea deal for 5 years in prison for this shooting. And that's one of those things that sounds really bad. And obviously any time spent away from his family would be a negative thing. It's something that, even though the legal system, I understand he was going to be given a punishment, ideally you would never want to see that happen, because Cain Velasquez, like we just said, known as a great human being by everybody.
Did you actually mention what the sentencing was? So
the sentencing was 5 years in prison, but it was 5 years in prison with time served, meaning the 2 years he spent on house arrest and the 1 year he spent in a jail cell in California will count, meaning he will be out, I believe, February of 2027. Could be out sooner with good behavior.
So hopefully a year only.
Yeah, hopefully only a year.
But wasn't the DA trying to get Cain like 30 years?
The DA was trying to put Cain Velasquez in prison for life.
Yeah, it was insane.
And that should keep you up at night as a human being. I mean that genuinely. The fact that Cain Velasquez, if this wasn't Cain Velasquez, the UFC star, he's in prison for life.
You're not lying.
And obviously he did something wrong. But again, I said this earlier. The other man who, again, molested a child 100 times
is out at home right now, eating Doritos, watching Netflix.
Exactly. And not only that, was let loose on bail right after it happened. But Cain Velasquez, no, we have to put him in jail cell for a year. 5 years now. So, and I understand you can argue that one crime is worse than the other, but I don't think you can argue any crime is worse than abusing a child. And yeah, I mean, that's what I have to say about it. I'm somebody who has generally, typically not like this. Like I'm the big, like, oh, the legal process, yada, yada, yada. The legal process does not have the mechanisms it should always have. In a situation like this, where it's something so horrific as that, and even then, he didn't hit the guy. He like the guy's like stepfather, who's been talking shit the last few years, by the way. And then afterwards, they talk shit out in front of the courthouse. Like, I can't believe it's such a light sentence. Really? You can't believe it's such a light sentence? Really? I wonder what happened. What drove a man such as Cain Velasquez to do that? Yeah. Look,
Cain had existed all those years, never had no criminal issues.
Yeah, no one is just a fantastic man. He just up and decided one day to just randomly do this crime, you know? Like, and sometimes that happens, but look, the MMA community and the sports community is behind Cain Velasquez. And I understand. I am not defending his decision, because he could have hurt an innocent person in the process. He was firing out, very irresponsible. But at the same time, I'm happy that he's gotten the sentence. which will mean he's going to be in his children's lives, which is what he deserves and what his children and his family deserves.
Yeah.
So that's it.
He got a little time out and a little time in. Now he's going back in, unfortunately.
And it's unfortunate. But look, this was probably the best outcome.
And also, we know Cain's not going to have any trouble in jail. So that also makes you can also live happily.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, this was probably the best outcome.
And no one's probably going to fuck with Cain either. So
I would hope not, man.
Could you imagine? What kind of idiot would you have to be?
Yeah, dude, literally. So, nonetheless, man. We do have some other we have other sad news. We actually just mentioned Jake Paul. How about KSI? You said you did not care about KSI versus Dylan Danis. I said I don't hate it because I like watching Dylan Danis get fucked up. Now, sadly, I'm getting the worst outcome. KSI versus Dylan Danis canceled. Dylan Danis, Tony Ferguson still going ahead. So, Angel, give me your thoughts on the cancellation. Do you care at all? And KSI has been linked to Turkey Al-Sheikh.
Wait, are they still doing the event? I thought they canceled.
They canceled the whole event, I believe.
Yeah, they canceled the whole event.
Yeah, I mean, this fight is just, I say cursed, but also who really wants to see it, you know? Like, and I honestly, my guess is that something is happening with KSI and Turkey Al-Sheikh because they met a few weeks back. And for KSI to pull out like 10 days before the fight saying he was sick, yeah, I don't know how much I buy that.
Who knows? Maybe they thought it wasn't going to be as good as
I don't. And you have any thoughts?
I mean, like I said, I already didn't really care much for it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Anyways, man. We have a few other things which are not really sad or bad, just kind of, actual news. This one, I want to hear your thoughts on this one because I watched like most of this event. Dirty Boxing 1, Miami, Florida. John Jones just announced as the co-owner. Mike Perry owns the league. Paige Van Zandt was in attendance, probably paid her to be there. Nonetheless, there was a card full of some Bellator veterans, some BKFC guys, some former UFC guys, former, I don't know what to say. Like friend of the show, Brian Maxwell actually fought on this card. Got stopped in the second round.
I saw that.
Very unfortunate. But nonetheless, he actually won a few before that. So, hey, fuck it, man. We still love. But main co-main, Andre Arlovsky in the co-main scores a stoppage win with a step-in elbow, which was just beautiful. Dude was leaking like a faucet. His first stoppage win in 10 years. Yoel Romero knocks out Bellator veteran Ross Hilton in the main event, who was like 6'7". Give me your thoughts on Dirty Boxing 1, what you saw of it, and your whole reaction.
I mean, I didn't get to see much of it. I just saw Yoel like blasting this guy in the final round. That was pretty much all I got to see.
Yeah.
Which was cool, man. I mean, I think they got a cool concept. It was cool that it was on YouTube. I mean, they got something there. They got the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to keep building upon it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think that as far as building upon it, there's still a lot of potential for this, man. Like, I like it. It's basically just boxing and 4-ounce gloves. That's it. I think that's sick. Limited ground strikes. You could do elbows too, but that's basically it.
And it's more or less the kind of street fight you want. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, man. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun, man. I liked it a lot. It was like, this is the closest thing we're gonna get to like a high profile kickboxing league in America, I guess, even though it's not kickboxing. So, fuck it. Good for Yoel, 46. Good for Andre Arlovsky at 46 as well. The old dogs.
By the way, does Yoel?
It showed the levels too.
Does he have like officially no affiliation with PFL anymore?
Correct.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Correct. No affiliation with him. Yeah, but he's also signed it. Both guys signed a GFL, which we learned GFL. I don't have this in the rundown because like
they announced some more fights or dates apparently.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have it in the rundown because I'm still not sure how much of this is actually going to happen.
I mean, we'll find out, man.
Yeah.
How far out were the fights that they announced?
So the first event, I reported on this earlier this week for BJPenn.com, the greatest MMA site on the planet. Let me see. The inaugural Global Fight League event is slated for May 24th and May 25th in Los Angeles. Will feature Tony Ferguson versus Dylan Danis. Also on the card, Uriah Faber, Renan Barao. And there's Anthony Pettis, Benson Henderson 3, the trilogy, and then Douglas Lima, Uriah Hall.
So like a month and a half, let's say.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's right now. But anyways, we'll see if those fights actually happen. We still don't know a lot of information. These aren't even public dates yet. That's something Eric Hawani reported. Still no distribution rights either. So worth noting. So something worth noting for that. Nonetheless,